Okay, what we're going to do here is go over a quick estimate, show you some of the things we look for, and give you some of the terms and terminology that we use that you may or may not be familiar with. Here's a slight stress fracture in the concrete slab itself. It's not necessarily indicative of a foundation problem, but certainly could mean that there is an issue that should be evaluated. Here at the corners of homes, that trim is called freeze board. And if you have settlement, that'll pop that joint open like you see there, and that 9 times out of 10 does mean there's a settlement issue large enough that would require pier work. What we're looking at here is the joints where the brick meets the window. Often you would see some separation there. Here we'll look at the other corner, and you'll see a little pop out there on that joint as well. Not quite as severe as the other side. We'll work our way down the side of the house here. Primarily what we'll be looking for is cracks in the brick facade and the mortar joints as well. You'll see a crack here where the brick changes patterns. That's a very common place to get a brick crack. Again, not necessarily indicative of foundation problems. As the house moves up and down, that's just a very easy place to develop a crack. Same thing here on the corner piece. I'd say 90% of homes have this issue here. There's no rebar or post-tension support in those corners, and the friction rubbing against that concrete all year long as the house moves up and down with the weather creates and causes that corner piece to crack off. Here's a pretty significant brick crack in the brick. It runs through the bricks as well as the mortar joints. The majority of the time, pier work will bring that crack back together, and bring it back together enough where we generally don't even need to remortar. We'll check this freeze board out as well. You'll see even less separation than we had in the front. Working our way around, we'll want to check the windows again. We've got a slight crack here above the window. Caulk lines looked pretty good there, not a lot of stretch in the caulk lines. Similar crack above this window. And here we do have some separation. You'll see where the brick is actually pulled from the window. See another brick crack here in a similar location to the other 2 windows that we looked at. Here's the largest separation and gap that I noticed in the house. You'll see a significant brick crack, and then as we go down the line here where the brick should touch that door frame, you'll see it's wide enough you could stick 2 fingers in at the top. And it carries substantially all the way down, finally tightening up at the bottom, but there at the top, that's a large, I'd say beyond typical separation. That gray color you're seeing between the brick and the wood frame is not actually mortar. That's actually the building material behind the brick wall. The gap is wide enough that you could actually see through. You'll see in the most significant gapping here at this freeze board. Thought we'd see what the yellow jackets or wasps were up to today. That's another thing that people don't realize when you've got unrepaired foundation issues. You've got all kinds of entry points for pests. As we were looking at the gap at those window joints where the caulk line is stretched or even opened up, roaches, water bugs, ants, etc. You've got an access point for them to enter your home, as well as wasps and other things that can build nests behind your brick wall. Here we're looking at a very low dirt level. The dirt is washed away from the house, combined with being so dry that it has actually shrunk away from the house. I'd recommend building up the dirt level there on that side of the house after the repairs have been completed. We'll quickly look at another joint there. Not too much going on, looks pretty good. Concludes the exterior. We want to go inside, of course, after we've looked at the exterior of a home. We'll go back inside and see what kind of damages are there. Just want to give you a quick look around the front yard. This is a very rural area, which I think makes it a lot tougher to maintain your foundation. There's not a lot of, obviously, neighboring properties that are watering, so it's pretty difficult to keep enough moisture around your home. Here inside, what we'll be looking for is sheetrock cracks, as well as doors that are out of alignment and or sticking. And this is one of the only straight door frames in the house. What we're looking for, the spacing there on the top of the door where it meets the door frame, it's actually fairly level. Here's a crack coming off a window corner. You have to excuse the camera focusing in on these beige plain walls. The camera had some issues focusing. It's actually more difficult than I had anticipated trying to focus in on cracks in the sheetrock. But there's actually a pretty significant crack here once we can get focused in. This goes all the way up to the top of the wall and actually into the ceiling as well. Cracking off of both corners of both the doors, and this door doesn't even come close to fitting inside the jamb. I would anticipate it taking a significant amount of leveling to get that door back inside its frame. Again, cracking up off the corner of the door as well as up the seam there. We've got two bedrooms here on the left side of the house. We'll check the back bedroom. Cracking in the sheetrock as well, right along the seam. And then all the way up to the ceiling. And this door is in a similar condition to the front bedroom. And that's me pushing on the door. Again, not even really close to getting inside the jamb. I believe we've gone into the dining room here. Not too much damage in there. Now we'll work our way into the kitchen and nook. What I'm looking there for is kind of the door casing, the framing of the door. Looks fairly straight. Good sized crack here coming off the back door, and here you can tell where the spacing above the door and the door frame is not level. We've got a door that's fairly difficult for me to open. Again, just showing you the rural area. Try to shut this door, it's going to be a little bit difficult due to the pinching of the frame there on the top right corner. Couldn't get it to lock quickly because it's out of alignment. Work our way into the master. The master had had the carpets pulled up. A significant amount of cracking in the slab itself. There you'll see a crooked door. Gets narrower to the left there, which indicates settlement on the left side of that door frame, relative to the right side. The master bedroom had the most significant amount of damage in the house, which happens to coincide, if you'll remember, outside the side that was had the low dirt level, and also it had the dirt shrink, where the dirt had shrank away from the house, indicating a severe lack of moisture on that side in particular. Going into the master bath. Again, we'll see a pretty significant crack here through the floor. Had this house still had the tile in place, I'm pretty sure we'd see cracks through the tile. See some separation here at where the drywall meets the shower, and the significant crack above the door. And this is another door that really isn't even close to being able to be shut. Working our way back through the kitchen and into the living room. Wanted to show you where the floor is actually dropped a decent amount beneath the baseboard. Wide enough there at the corner where you could probably stick a finger. After leveling the back of the house, I would expect that gap to be gone. And we finally get back to where we're fairly level there in the living room. And again, it widens there towards the back end of the house. So that kind of concludes a walk around the house, as well as walking around the interior.